Howdy folks. So today I'm going to do another review on a Chinese manufactured fountain pen. So I promised when I did my review of this pen, the Jinhao X450, that I'd be doing another one, and here it is. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a comparison between these two just because I already did the review on this, and I've got it here. So the Baoer 388 is basically the same cost. I mean, it's a $4 Canadian pen from China. And this pen is kind of different in several ways to the X450, and that was sort of why I bought it. I wanted to sort of see the difference between the two. So I'll go over it sort of like what I did on the X450. So the body has nothing on the end. It's just it's a brushed aluminum that's just rounded over, and the cap has the same, basically the exact same gold finish on it. The clip, sort of this arrow shape, and it's just as strong, if not even stronger, than the one on the X450. So that not going to break. And the top is just a black inset piece of plastic with a gold band around it. And we have the exact same sort of logoing as we do on the X450, with the manufacturer, Baoer, on one side and the model 388 on the other. And it's the same sort of, it's actually not a dot pattern like the X450. It's actually a very nice solid line, if it wants to focus. So it's actually slightly nicer there. The first thing you notice is this pen is much lighter than this pen. It's actually a little bit shorter, not by much though, by a tiny bit. And I did actually remember to bring my scale, so I will weigh these two. So first of all, the X450 in grams is about 41 grams, and it's got about half full cartridge of ink. And this also has about half a cartridge of ink, and it's 25 grams. So it's like almost half. So there's a big difference. And when I first picked this up, I kind of wanted to say that it was cheaper, lower quality than this. But after using it and sort of getting a feel for it, I don't think it's actually any lower quality than this. It's just the fact that it's lighter. It just sort of makes it feel that way. I mean, it's a much simpler design, so maybe because it doesn't have all these accents and stuff, it may seem like that, but it's actually not that bad. Again, we have a golden ring here. This is a hard black plastic sleeve. It's shiny, unlike the sort of micro texture on the X450, and it has no indentations around it, so it's perfectly cylindrical. And the nib is very short in this pen, significantly shorter than the X450's nib, if I just hold them up side by side. So it's a much smaller nib. The feeder is basically exactly the same design, just smaller. They both have a breather hole, and they both have a sort of a two-tone nib. However, this one is definitely nicer in terms of the engravings on it. This one just says Baoer, like this on this side here. Now, again, this is a screw-open, regular international cartridge converter pen. The converter is different in this pen, of course. I had lots of difficulty filling this pen. The reason it's only half full is because I wasn't able to get any more ink than that in there. That's as much as I can get in there. And I'm not entirely sure if the cartridge is broken, or if it's the way that the Namiki ink bottle works, that I just can't get this deep enough. I'm not entirely sure why I couldn't fill this any higher. So I'm not sure if that's just my ink, or maybe there's something wrong with this pen. But the fact that I can fill it halfway tells me it's probably not the pen, because it doesn't leak or anything like that. The cap does have the same sleeve as the X450, but it's much further down. And the feeling when you close it, it's still got a relatively satisfying click, but it's not as nice feeling, especially the way the feeling when it opens is not nearly as nice. It's more scratchy, kind of metal on metal feeling. And also when you post this pen, it doesn't feel as nice, and I noticed that even after just like a day's worth of use, there was a ring developing from where this was rubbing on the metal, and I was able to get that off, but I'm not sure over time how it's gonna wear. And my camera's decided to not focus anymore. So this pen, I haven't been able to get any markings on, so maybe this is just slightly more durable with the cap. In terms of ink flow, again, I'm going to make the same statement I made with the X450, that your nib is not my nib, and I can't make any guarantees that the pen, if you were to buy this, would be the same as this pen. When I got it, the nib was slightly out of alignment. The two tines were kind of askew, and I had to align them so that they were straight. It was quite scratchy when I got it at first, but that's gone away now that I've fixed it. The ink flow is, I mentioned that the X450 has a massive ink flow, at least mine did, and I still haven't fixed that yet. This pen, I want to say this pen puts a really nice amount of ink down. It's a lot of ink, but it's nowhere near as much as this. And this would be my preference. Like this would be the way I want my X450 to be. It's not dry, but it doesn't bleed through the page. It's nice. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they're all like that, but at least mine was. And now you get to see how horrible my writing is. Yeah, this tripod makes it impossible to write things down. But it's very, it's also slightly thinner. I'm not sure if that's just due to the fact that the ink doesn't bleed as much, so it doesn't spread out on the paper, or if the nib is indeed smaller. The nib point is definitely smaller. Sorry about that. The nib point is definitely smaller. So I would have to say, but it's actually not that much smaller. So I want to say that the majority of the width difference is probably just due to the amount of ink flow. But I like this pen a lot more than the X450. Its balance is very nice. It's not very heavy, and it's really well balanced when you post it. The X450 was it's just very heavy and very clunky, and I wasn't able to write things down quickly or very accurately. I wasn't able to make small details because the pen had so much mass that it would sort of want to keep moving, whereas this doesn't do that. And it's also a lot thinner, which if you have if you like a small grip, if you're used to something like a pencil or something, then this actually does quite a good job. You can hear this nib a lot more, and I think it's simply because I haven't broken it in yet. Whereas the X450 doesn't make any scratchy noises at all. It's actually very quiet. So all in all, I would recommend this pen, just as much as this. I think honestly, they're both excellent pens, especially for $3. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, the ink is going to cost you more than the pen by a significant margin. So, I mean, if you're interested in things like this, I'd recommend just going out, spending like $15, buy like 5 pens, and then just sort of pick one out of the lot that you get that you like. And this is more for people who like small, light, pencil thin kind of pens, and this is more of a show-off pen. I mean, I think it focuses more on looks and feel than it does on actually writing things down. But I mean, it's still perfectly good at writing things. So anyway, that was just my thoughts on these things. So probably won't see another pen video from me for quite a while, but hey, maybe in the future I'll do something else. If people want to see me review more pens, I'm down to buy more of these cheap pens and try them out. So anyway, thanks for watching.